Hello and welcome to Module 4, Learning to Prioritise. In this model, we're going to learn to prioritise, as I've just said. You really can't do everything, you know. Unlike Mary Poppins or Mrs. Doubtfire, sometimes some things just have to go by the board. And letting go of routines can be hard. So choose the things that you have to do and leave those that can be left. So let's ask yourself, which is more important? That the washing up is done immediately, or that you enjoy reading your children a bedtime story? That you get half an hour to unwind and have a sit down, or the house is hoovered? That you and your teenager have a chance to talk, or that the machine is loaded with washing? It's all about looking at life from the bigger picture perspective. I'll always remember the mum who came on one of my work-life balance workshops saying, "The time I saved by eating a ready-cooked meal during the week sometimes allowed me to help the boys with their homework. So I stopped beating myself up about being an earth mother, and I enjoyed the time with the kids more." It's a question of priorities and taking back control of your life. So ask yourself, would you prefer to work more, less, or the same as now? What small change could you make this week to help you manage your work-life balance better? Could you ask the kids to lay the table? Could you get your son to empty the bin in the kitchen and get your daughter to pick up the towels in the bathroom? What are your biggest worries? Get them out on paper and let's have a look at them. What don't you like about your life at the moment? What makes taking control difficult and challenging for you? What would make it easier? By writing things down, I'm a great believer in that you become detached from some of the things that swirl around in your head. And by getting them down on paper, you start to shine a light or a torch on them. So you start to get more clarity. So do take time to write the things down that I suggest, because I think it will really help. Now let's look at making friends with your juggler. We all juggle. We juggle relationships, parenting, life and work, and sometimes we drop one or all of the balls. So let's look at making friends with the juggler and finding new ways to succeed as a working parent. The first myth that I think we need to debunk is that you actually get the balance completely right. You won't. But I can help you focus on effective strategies that make you feel more in control and back in the driving seat of your life. How many times do you focus on the negative feelings and anxieties related to work and home and forget to focus on the positive things that happen in your lives and with your kids or in your careers? With a simple shift and a positive refocusing, changes can happen almost overnight in how you see your life. By simply reframing how you describe work, you can change your view of it. On my courses, some people have said, "I always feel guilty about going out to work. Oh, when I'm at home, I feel guilty about what I'm not doing at work. I never seem to have enough time. I always feel stressed. There's never enough time to get all the jobs done and do nice things with the kids. I constantly feel overwhelmed." But with a change in attitude and a different perspective, life suddenly can take on a new viewpoint. How about these, changing it to this and reframing it perhaps? "Oh, working gives me self-esteem and a purpose that's different from being at home. It gives me adult conversation, which I enjoy. I really like getting my teeth stuck into my work. It offers me a challenge and it gives me a bigger perspective to my life. Oh, I really enjoy interacting with others and making a difference in people's lives. I enjoy the responsibility at work. Well, I enjoy the variety of working part-time and being able to pick the kids up from school. Oh, I love working for myself now. It's so exciting to make my own decisions and not have to answer to anyone but myself. So you see the difference? It's all about your mindset and the language that you use, talking to yourself about your work. For me, I'm very passionate and enthusiastic about my work. And because I love it so much, it doesn't feel like work. But there is a downside to that I don't know always when to stop, or when to close the door, or when to switch off. And I also expect everyone else to feel exactly the same way about my work, which is just plain balmy of me, really. But here's the reality. No matter how much we do, we will never get everything done. There isn't enough time for all the things that need doing, all of what we want to do, or what we'd like to do, or what we think we should do. So I think it helps to relax and to remember we won't get it all done immediately. And we need to allow ourselves to let things roll over to the next day. And I think we need to be more forgiving of ourselves. So if this reminds you of you, what silly voice could you have inside your head that could pop up to remind you that you're getting overwhelmed or being a bit of a perfectionist? You need a trigger to help you notice when you're starting to take it all a bit too seriously. Everyone is different, of course, when it comes to what the ideal balance should feel like in their lives. The balance changes with time, with circumstances and stages of life anyway. The really important thing is that you know what you mean and you're very clear about what your priorities are in each area of your life. So, now I'm going to give you some questions to get your creative juices flowing. You can just choose the ones that seem to be relevant to your circumstances for maybe just this year. Don't get yourself overwhelmed. So take some time. You can pause at different sections to write things down. Give this the time it deserves and it will genuinely help you get clarity, direction and more confidence. So what's most important to you this year? What do you want to achieve most? What are your priorities in your family life? What sort of experiences do you want to have with your family? Which relationships do you want to start, to develop, or to change? How can you improve the quality time with your family? What are your key priorities in your work and career? Working out what you want most from your life may take you some time, especially if you've never stopped and thought about it before more objectively. So be patient with yourself and let the answers come up gradually, perhaps over time. Remember how long it took you to decide that new car that you wanted to buy, or that new washing machine, or that new job you wanted to go for, or even that new piece of furniture. And of course, this is very important, so take your time. The secret is to remain flexible on life's journey and to bend, not break, but to also have a clear idea of your destination, because that allows you to change direction if you want to. If you want to stop off, you want to smell the roses, you want to take a detour or have a rest. So that's it for this session. Next time we'll look at what it takes to be an effective working parent. So see you then.